Test 1 2. Mic test 1 2 3 4. Exclamation support. Audio test 1 2 3 4. Audio test 1, 2. Audio test 3, 4.
Good to see you. I know we are almost ready. See you. Great.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're about to get started. Can you please put all your electronic devices, cell phones, and stuff on vibrate at this time? As you see, we got a new clock up there. It's got the 3-minute timer on there. So you can decide it. 3 minutes. Also, when you're speaking, please be respectful of each other and of the different opinions.
Today is Thursday, August 27, 2026. It's now 1 p.m. I call to order this regular meeting of the Fort Bend County Commissioners Court. Welcome to our courtroom, and thank you for joining us through the live stream. Please be advised that we have the presence of a quorum. Please stand and join me with prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather today in service to the people of Fort Bend County. We ask for your wisdom and guidance as we consider the matters before us. Give us patience to listen, clarity to understand, and the courage to make decisions based on not on what is easiest, but on what is right. Help us remember the public service is a responsibility and a privilege. Keep us mindful of the people we serve, the families who depend on county services, the employees who carry out this work every single day, and the taxpayers who entrusted us with their resources. When we disagree, give us respect for one another. When decisions are difficult, give us good judgment. And in all that we do today, help us put service above self and the interests of Fort Bend County above our own. We ask for your continual protection over our first responders, our county employees, and all those who serve our community. Bless Fort Bend County and all who call this home. Amen, amen. Amen. Let's make the pledge to our American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please be seated. We now proceed to agenda item number 3. Consider approval of minutes as presented.
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Now let's proceed to agenda item number 4. Let me read my opening statement. Good afternoon and welcome to Fort Bend County Commissioner Court. We have a full agenda before us today, and we have several important decisions to make on behalf of the people of Fort Bend County. As I have said since taking on this responsibility, our job is to keep the county government working, to provide the services our residents depend on, to be responsible with taxpayers' money, and to make decisions based on what is best for Fort Bend County. That responsibility requires to look carefully at how county government operates. We should always be looking for opportunity to improve efficiencies, strengthen accountability, and make sure taxpayer dollars are being used wisely. It also means making decisions Commissioners Court exists to conduct the business of the county, and the people of Fort Bend County expect us to show up, consider the issues before us, have an open discussion and vote. There may be disagreements today. That's part of the process. And reasonable people can disagree about policy. But disagreement should never prevent us from doing the work we were entrusted to do. The court should be a place where we solve problems, not a stage for political theater or grandstanding. There's plenty of time and plenty of places for politics. I've been involved in that. When we sit in this chair, our responsibility is to the people of Fort Bend County and the work they sent us here to do. Leadership means showing up. It means being willing to have difficult conversation, listening to different points of view and making tough decisions. And then be accountable for those decisions. We do not serve the public by avoiding the work and an issue when the issue is difficult or controversial. We serve them by getting to work and doing our job. Fort Bend County is one of the largest and fastest growing county in Texas. With that growth comes great responsibility, greater demand on county services, and an even greater obligation to make sure county government is operating effectively and efficiently. My approach remains straightforward: protect the taxpayers, deliver the service our residents expected, and follow the law and make decisions based on what is best for Fort Bend County. I hope we have a thoughtful and productive meeting today. Focus on the facts and continue moving Fort Bend County forward. With that, let us get to work. First, this afternoon we have a proclamation to present the Pearville A&M University on its 150th anniversary. Bobby, please come forward.
All right, we have a proclamation. Whereas Prairie View A&M University was established in 1876 and welcomed its first students in 1878, growing from a teaching college into Texas's second oldest public institution of higher education and a leading historically black college and university. As a land-grant institution and member of the Texas A&M University system, Prairie View A&M University serves more than 10,000 students and 85,000 graduates with a steadfast commitment to teaching, research, service, and community engagement. And whereas throughout its 150-year history, Prairie View A&M University has expanded academic opportunities, advanced research and innovation, and transformed access to higher education for historically underrepresented communities while fostering leadership, achievement, and civic engagement. And whereas under the leadership of President Dr. Tamika P. Legrand, the university's Journey to Eminence initiative seeks to strengthen research excellence, student success, graduation rates, and postgraduate outcomes, further establishing Prairie View A&M University as a premier public HBCU and national model for excellence. And whereas Prairie View A&M University continues to make significant contributions to its research centers, vibrant student life, more than 170 student organizations, and the accomplishments of its students, faculty, staff, alumni, and partners, embodying its motto, Prairie View produces productive people. And whereas the university's sesquicentennial anniversary celebrates 150 years of historic achievement and service while honoring its enduring legacy of productive Panthers and reaffirming collective support of Prairie View A&M University's continued growth, excellence, and impact in Texas, the nation, and the world. Now therefore be it resolved that Commissioners Court of Fort Bend County, Texas does hereby proclaim, recognize, and honor Prairie View A&M University for its contributions to higher education and commitment to excellence in teaching, research, and service, extending best wishes to its students, faculty, staff, administrators, and alumni as they continue their proud journey.
Amazing 150th anniversary. Please come up. Members of the court, please.
2, 3. There you go.
Don't hold my phone, okay? 1, 2, 3, one more.
Perfect. Fantastic. Okay, members of court, do you have any announcement or comments? Hearing none, this time we'll take public comments regarding agenda items and announcement. Olga.
Yes, this afternoon we have the first speaker, Judge Monica Rollins, here to address the court on
Right.
agenda item 38.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We just brought the members of the judiciary up at one time in an effort to just go. Thank you. And so what my colleague, Judge Jaramillo, is providing to you all is the docket, just a snapshot of what it looks like throughout the year.
Thank you, Judge.
It's a variety of dockets from different days, I think all last week, and maybe a couple
Thank
of
you.
Fridays. So, I am the presiding judge of the 328 District Court here in Fort Bend County, and this is a family court where jurisdiction is concurrent with that of the other district courts. But my primary responsibility is family, involving all things family matters. My associate judge is here today with me, Judge Felicia Young. In family court, we hear all cases involving family matters, and that would consist of divorce, custody, special immigration cases, terminations, adoptions, name changes, child support, protective order, contempt actions, interstate matters. There is a plethora of cases that we take care of in family court. However, what I would like to have the court be clear about is that we hear court statutorily in terms of priority based on statute. So what that means in pecking orders, to put it in layman's terms, I have to hear protective orders first if they come to my court. And then secondly, I would have to hear the termination adoptions, writ of habeas, writ of attachments, and the temporary restraining orders as well, and all enforcements with contempt. So what happens is if I am in a protective order hearing, it may take me 3 hours or 3 days to hear a protective order hearing. While that's happening, we have, if you look at the docket that I provided, we may have a trial, we may have a variety of motions, such as a motion to compel mediation. We may have motions to compel discovery. We may have other trials that might be necessary. So my associate judge would take care of those matters as I take care of the protective order and so forth. Without my associate judge, that means that if there is a divorce pending and there's abuse, they have to wait. And they may have to wait for months before they get to me, because my job doesn't stop on the bench. After I get off the bench, I have to sign orders. Just in 24-25 that year, we disposed in my court of 3,109 cases. I could not do that with it being just me. And I would have provided more details, but we were not provided proper notice of this setting today. The last budget that I received included my associate judge. So I'm here before you without that revised budget. Okay, Judge Erdogan.
Good afternoon, I'm Judge Manny Jaramillo, presiding judge of the Fort Bend District Court. And I'm here to talk about why Fort Bend County should not eliminate 3 associate judges. I'm here today because this is an issue about much more than 3 positions in a county budget. It is about the administration of justice, the separation of powers, and whether the courts of Fort Bend County have the resources necessary to perform the essential functions that the law requires. The Commissioners Court has an important responsibility to adopt and manage the county budget, but that authority is not unlimited. The judicial branch has its own constitutionally protected responsibilities, and the legislature has specifically established a statutory framework governing associate judges. Under Texas Government Code Chapter 54A, the associate judges are part of the judicial system. For civil associate judges, Section 54A.102 gives a district judge authority to appoint an associate judge when the Commissioner's Court has authorized the position. And Section 54A.104 provides that the associate judge's salary is paid from county funds available for officer salaries. That distinction matters. The Commissioner's Court has the authority to determine compensation and to approve funding, but that does not necessarily mean it has the authority to unilaterally abolish judicial positions that have been lawfully authorized in appointment, particularly as a means of directing how the district courts must perform their judicial functions and manage their dockets. Reducing the number of associate judges through the budget process would lack statutory authority under Chapter 54A and could also implicate Texas Local Government Code Section 151.004. That legal concern should not be dismissed. The Commissioner's Court should also consider the practical consequences. Fort Bend County, as you stated earlier, Judge Wong, is one of the fastest growing counties in Texas. Its district courts are handling an enormous and increasing volume of civil, family, and criminal matters. Associate judges are not simply administrative employees. They perform judicial functions that allow the district courts to move cases, conduct jury trials, hearings, and manage dockets, and provide timely access to justice. Removing 3 associate judges does not make those cases disappear. It simply transfers the workload. The remaining district judges would have to absorb hearings and matters that are currently handled by associate judges. That means longer dockets, delayed hearings, slower resolution of cases, increased incarceration times, and indigent defense attorney fees increasing, along with increased pressure on the judges and court staff to ultimately do what they're doing at greater cost to litigants, attorneys, law enforcement, children and families, and the county itself. And also there's an important constitutional principle here. Budgetary power cannot become judicial power. The Commissioner's Court should not be able to accomplish directly through a budget reduction what it cannot lawfully command the district courts to do directly, and that is determine how the judicial workload should be allocated. Fort Bend County's adopted fiscal 2026 budget itself recognized significant expenditures associated with associate judges and court operations, including associate judge personnel costs. This is therefore not simply a question of whether the county can find money. It is a question of who has the legal authority to make this decision and what happens to the administration of justice when that decision is made without adequate consideration of the judiciary's statutory responsibilities. We should protect the independence of our courts. We should protect the ability of our district judges to manage their dockets. And we should not eliminate 3 associate judges merely to demonstrate that the Commissioner's Court has reduced spending when the consequences is to shift that workload onto an already burdened judicial system. The people of Fort Bend County deserve courts that are adequately staffed, accessible, efficient, and independent. Fiscal responsibility is important, but justice is an essential county function and cannot be balanced away. And we saw, Judge Wong, you were not here last year, but the letter that's been presented to you, this is not a partisan issue. This is completely nonpartisan. Every judge has signed that letter agreeing for the retention of our associate judges. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Judge Studi Patel. I know both of our commissioners very well. Judge Wong, you don't know me. We met very briefly at the juvenile GED graduation.
Yes.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I wanted to fill you in a little bit. We went through this whole process last year. Okay, this whole topic, this whole agenda item was discussed last year. I wanted to briefly share with you what I do as an associate judge. I am currently in the 400 District Court with Judge Krennick. I am his associate judge for that court. We do tax, civil, and felony adult criminal cases. For a brief sample, this is 1 week of my cases, not what's set with my presiding judge. We ran the numbers, it was about 250 cases set in 1 week with me, not with my presiding judge. So I'd like to show that to y'all, just as a snapshot. It includes tax, civil, criminal. These are my dockets.
Yes.
I also wanted to share with you one of the duties that the associate judges do in the general courts is property tax dockets. I requested our tax lawyers to run the numbers of judgments that I signed in 2025. Me, just me. This is not all the courts. Those totaled over $6.5 million of tax judgments brought into this county. That figure does not include people that we are supervising on payment plans or helping with deferment such as disability or age. That is a whole other amount of taxes that are coming in through my tax dockets. Those will be very delayed if associate judges are cut. So when we talk about taxes and taxpayers, that's an efficient part of our system, is that we are the ones supervising property tax dockets for this county. We of course handle warrants 24/7, 365 days. Yes, on Christmas Day. We are here for our first responders. When they call us in the middle of the night on the side of the road and need a blood warrant for a DWI or need a warrant to go arrest somebody that has committed a violent offense, we are here to sign those warrants and keep our streets safe. Of course, in the civil, we help small business owners and all sorts of things. In the interest of time, oh my gosh, my time's already run out. I wanted to make 2 points. I'm gonna ask for slightly extra time because I think they're very important. I apologize. The reasons for this cut were given is that there was some agreement with the legislature. We have verified that, the judiciary and county staff, that there is no agreement. In fact, the legislature has told us that since this alleged agreement occurred, they already gave Fort Bend County 2 new courts without any such agreement of cutting associates. Next, the reason we were told is the OCA report says,
5 seconds.
thank you, I'm requesting 30 more seconds, please.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge, I really appreciate that. The second reason we were given for these elimination or cuts was the OCA report. This OCA report that's been tossed around or discussed is over 2 years old. I personally had a meeting with the OCA telling them the reports were inaccurate. They've sent me an email. This email is from the OCA if you'd like to see it. It's not from me. I read, they're referring to my meeting with them for Fort Bend County. The quote, the current reporting to OCA does not show these cases and may not represent true, accurate, or transparent numbers and reporting on behalf of the local court activity. And there's a whole list of type of cases. I won't read that list in the interest of time. This OCA report was done before, again, we were given 2 more courts. The OCA report does not state anywhere in that report that we should cut courts. Our county is growing. We need every single court that we have. I pride myself, as do many of my peers, that when a lawyer calls and says, I have an emergency hearing on a pending foreclosure, I have a bond violation alleging a weapon or drug use, I get them a hearing that week because I can and I make things move. We don't want to be like the other counties and cities in this nation that have skyrocketing criminal rates and poor judicial systems. We, by the way, also got, and I would like to show you this, and I will wrap up, I promise. This is a current report that was run this week and printed by the OCA. We got an A+. How is a court rated? How does a court get an A+ in our county or in our state? Clearance rates. I'll give you my example in the interest of time. I won't go over the link. 400 District Court from January 1st through the end of July 26th, which is what's posted on their reports for the year, disposed of 1,344 cases. New filings, this is just for my court, not the county as a whole, was 1,348. Let's just look at the math. That's 4 cases. That is the optimal clearance rate for a court, that you are disposing and moving cases to keep up with the new filings. That's an A+. There is no way the 400 District Court or any of our courts would get this grade. This was printed this week by the OCA if we don't have the staff and the judges that we do now. We would not have an A+. We would not have that clearance rate. As far as the budget concerns, I've talked to county staff. They said that eliminating these positions is not needed to balance our budget. In fact, we already all got our budgets in writing, including these positions, and then later we were told it was on the agenda. We've already been given our budgets in writing for next year. And county staff has told me that elimination of these jobs, this important judicial function, does not balance the budget. We're good. Mr. Wong, I also wanted to thank you for your email, and I'm going to end with this, that you sent to the entire county on August 25th this week. I was very impressed with that email. As you can see, this is my copy. I printed things in there that I also believe in. The county government must continue to work. These decisions affect our community safety, our first responders, our families. And I won't read the whole thing. You wrote the email. But I just wanted to point out to you that I agree with that. And that's why I printed and brought it here today. I've actually never done that before. I have worked for this county starting with under John Healy, our retired DA, in the year 2000 when my son was 9 months old. He is now 26. I'm a product of Fort Bend schools. I have served this county with every ounce of my brain and my heart. And I firmly believe in the system. At one day, I'm gonna take my retirement and go away. That I've earned. But I firmly believe in the associate judge system that we have. I respectfully ask for you to keep it. Thank you.
Do you need this back?
Sure, thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Good
My name is
afternoon.
Felicia Young. I am the Associate Judge in the 328th Judicial District Court. I want to talk to you all about the OCA reports, and I'm going to have Judge Chelter give you all those reports. In 2023, there was a workload study. 2023, and in 2024, the report was made. And I would just like to say, notwithstanding the fact that that report is old and Fort Bend is a continuing growing county, that the purpose for that study was for the state of Texas to identify the counties where there were undersourced judiciary resources. The purpose of it was never to be weaponized to say that there were too many judges. The particular committee, which was the Judicial Needs Assessment Committee, JNCA, was the advisory board for 2023 judicial workload. And what they specifically said in the report, which you all have on page 13, is that they say that they were particularly interested with how weighted caseload will help identify counties that were relatively undersourced and provided a reliable estimate of the number of judicial officers needed. JNAC members were also committed to preserving judicial staffing levels in counties that were able to spend more time per case with the statewide average. There was a consensus among the JNCA members that a willingness by counties to provide judicial resources above the average level by employing associate judges, masters, magistrates, and referees to assist with the workload of the district courts should be welcome. The rationale is that the calculated implied judicial officer need from the weighted caseload model represented a reasonable level of staffing that should be present in all counties, but not an optimal level, because higher staffing levels likely increase the level and quality of service to the public. It was agreed that jurisdictions where the actual number of the judicial officers exceeded the implied need would be held harmless. That was the purpose of the workload study, was to find counties where they needed more judges. It was not to weaponize that caseload study and say that there were too many judges. They wanted it to be held harmless. I'm asking you to do the same. Additionally, I would like to point you out to the history of associate judges. The 328th Judicial District Court was the first court in this county to have an associate judge, and that was in 1984. 42 years, there has been an associate judge in the 328th Judicial District Court. In 1999, the 387th District Court was created, and that has been 27 years. What's important about that was in 2003, But then Attorney General Greg Abbott, I'd just like to ask for a little bit more time.
Please go ahead.
The Attorney General at that time was Greg Abbott, and there were two issues that were presented to him with regards to the creation of the 387 District Court, which hears family law cases in Fort Bend County. And one of those questions was the creation of a court, did that affect the need for an associate judge? I'm not going to go through all of it. I've provided that opinion to you all, but the short answer was no. The other question that was presented was when the 387 District Court was created, did that imply that the associate judge for the 328 District Court didn't need to be shared? And the short answer to that question was also no. What the Commissioner's Court did at that time was create a position of an associate judge for the 387. In 2015, the 505th was created. That was 11 years ago. And you all gave wisely an associate judge to that court. And so we serve not only our district court judges, but we serve the constituents and the families of this community. We do it proudly and we work hard, and we earn the respect of the judiciary, and we would ask that you not defund the program. Now, what I will also say is that last year when this came up, I asked, what percentage is the judiciary of the whole budget? And I was told 2%. That means associate judges are way less than 2%. Additionally, I requested to know when in Fort Bend has a judiciary position ever been defunded? And I was told never. I don't believe that there's any precedent that you all have ever said where you defunded a position that wasn't vacant, particularly with the judiciary. You've heard my colleagues tell you how important my position is, and so certainly I have a vested interest because it's my job. But I also have a vested interest because I am a member of this community, and I believe in the work that we do, and the safety that we provide, and the services that we provide to this community. I would ask that you not set a precedent. If you believe in the safety of this community, you believe that the citizens deserve the best, I would ask that, just like the OCA report, that you hold the fact that we are the gold standard in Texas, that you hold the fact that we're doing our job harmless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Khalid Morgan. I am the presiding judge of the 505th Family District Court. I do appreciate the opportunity to address this body this afternoon. I have been the presiding judge of the 505th District Court. This is year 6 for me now. But also, in addition to that, I'm a resident of Fort Bend County and a taxpayer in Fort Bend County for the past 20 years. And so my purpose in being here, over 20 years actually, my purpose in being here today is two-part. One, as a presiding judge of a court that will be affected if this agenda item is passed this afternoon, and two, as a citizen of this county who has an interest in public safety and in access to justice. I think that everyone in this room has an interest in public safety. Many of you campaign on the premise of keeping Fort Bend County safe, and so I ask that you not take an action that could potentially negatively affect the safety of Fort Bend County citizens. My colleagues have provided you with data. Just last May, I was here speaking to this body about this very same issue. I never imagined that just a little over a year later, we would be back here entertaining the thought of eliminating our associate judges once again. Last year, you heard from myself and 16 other people who showed up to speak against this very same agenda item. You heard from judges, lawyers who practice in Fort Bend County, concerned citizens from Fort Bend County, Democrats and Republicans, and all 17 of us were united in expressing to this body that this is a terrible idea. So I'm not going to use the time that I'm allotted this afternoon to provide more data. When I was here last year, I gave you all that information. I gave you information on how many cases we have pending in our family courts, how many cases we're disposing of each month, individually and collectively, how many new cases are filed in our courts every month, how many old cases are reopened that are not counted in the new case filings every month. I explained to you how our cases work. I'm not going to do that again. I feel that I have already provided that information to you. So today, what I want to do is to just address the citizens and the families and the children of Fort Bend County that will be affected by this. I want them to know, number one, that your elected and your appointed judges, we do not agree with this. We are against this. I also want them to know that at no point has anyone come down to the courthouse. Whoever put this on the agenda has not come down to the courthouse to observe a docket, see how our cases are run. There has been no phone call, no email, no communication whatsoever to even so much as ask us our opinions. We found out about this moments before the public found out about this, and it's just simply not right. If I could have just a few more seconds. So what I would ask of this body, come down to the courthouse. To the best of my knowledge, I don't believe that any of you are attorneys. Come down to the courthouse, observe our dockets, see what we actually do every day. Come down and meet some of the people that will be affected by what you're trying to do here today, and maybe engage in some information gathering before you make a decision that will be to the detriment of Fort Bend County citizens. This is a matter of public safety. It's a matter of access to justice. You will be creating unreasonable delays that as a judge, I simply cannot get around. You've heard the numbers of how many cases we have pending. As of July 31st, 2026 in our family courts, we are right under 7,000 cases pending. We get on average around 200 new cases in each court filed every month. That's a lot of work for one person. You're going to be causing unreasonable delays. Families, children are going to be negatively affected. I would encourage you to do more research, come down to the courthouse, see for yourself what we actually do before you make this type of decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all judges, for coming, and thank you for all your comments.
I think we have one more judge
Okay,
sign in.
please.
I don't know if he's still here. Is his Judge Surrender Patel?
Yes, Judge, please come forward.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. I remember last year I came here and give you some data. During that time, I argued that average every month, every general jurisdiction court is getting 150 cases a month. And yesterday, we got a new OCA report for the July. Every single district court now getting 240 cases in a month. That is more than 70 cases per month in every single court. So our population is growing, our litigation is growing. And Judge Sudhir Patel just mentioned about the millions of dollars the tax judgment are signed by the judges. And 90% of those tax dockets are handled by the associate judges. We have several specialty dockets. All those specialty courts are run by the associate judges. And now, because of the new legislation, some of the criminal cases cannot be handled by the associate judges. So we are doing the magistration even, the presiding judges. So where we can accommodate, where we can get the work done, getting the help from the associate judges from the increasing number of civil cases. They are the one moving the docket on the civil side. They can do everything except the trial if the parties are objecting. So we are focusing on the trial and they are helping us to move the dockets. If we don't have those help, we won't be able to achieve any of the accomplishments we are doing now. Now, another most important thing is that because of the new legislative mandate, every single district court judge should clear at least 90% of the case loads. So if the new filings are 240, we are supposed to clear at least 200 a month. Otherwise, we are in the negative. Right now, we are in the A+ because of the associate judges. Some of the small county, they may getting only 50 cases per month. And if they dispose 50 cases, they are getting A+. Even after disposing 240 cases a month, we may be able to get only A-. And we are going to have a special education, how to manage the docket. So it is not easy. And also I respectfully submit that the democracy functions when the branches of the government respect each other. So I am expecting the executive and judicial branch to respect the judiciary and vice versa. We never got an opportunity to being heard about the elimination of the associate judges. We got the budget that includes the associate judges. And all of a sudden a new agenda came up without even asking a justification of keeping those judges. So I simply asking you, don't do that. This is not efficient for our county, and this is unfair and improper and perhaps illegal. Please don't do that. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Okay, next.
The next speaker is Frank Bergen on agenda item 30A and 30B. And there are some speakers in the overflow room, so we can just give them a few minutes.
We'll just give a few minutes. So, please make sure they're coming. Yeah, please. Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please excuse my attire, but since I retired, on Thursdays I deliver meals for Fort Bend Senior Meal on Wheels. Then once I finish that, I usually go by Landmark Community Center and play a few games of pickleball. Pickleball outfit. Now, as you may recall, some of you may know, I served this county as district judge from 2019 to 2022. And myself and Judge Williams came to this court, and Commissioner Myers and Commissioner Morales were president. We argued for these positions, and they were approved, some during our term. Now, I'm also speaking on item B, so I don't see it on the screen, but I also serve on a board with one of your original county attorneys, who just happened to be Republican. And we discussed the matter, how the position was created, and everything went well as long as it's like it was a Republican office. And now we have a Democratic elected county attorney. Now all of a sudden, we want to displace that office. So in my opinion, this item 30A and B is strictly political and is not for the benefit of people here in Fort Bend County. I'm a 39-year resident of Fort Bend County. And you heard all the proofs that the good work that these associate judges do. So I'm asking you to, in the interest of the people here in Fort Bend County, that we table this item for further discussion before you make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
The next speaker is Edward Cavey on agenda item 30B.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ed Cavey. I reside in precinct 3167 out here in Nikola. I'm here to offer my supporting opinion for agenda item 30 Bravo, which would establish a new legal department and civil division. Fort Bend County employs over 1,400 people and manages a budget of roughly $750 million. That's your job. The Commissioner's Court has to function like a board of directors of a large corporation. Such a board has to make decisions, some of which incur legal risks. In many situations, the board needs to obtain legal counsel to better understand the different options and risks of litigation of their actions. That legal counsel must be both competent and committed to the company's best interest, in this case, the county's best interest. The Fort Bend County Attorney has a single primary statutory role, which is to represent the county in civil litigation. This means that a county attorney would function as a defense counsel in a civil court if the county is being sued, potentially even as a prosecuting attorney if the county decides they have to sue some entity. For decades, the county attorney has also had, in this county, the county attorney has also provided services of basic governance, legal advice, legal counsel to the Commissioner's Court. And I understand that that's an efficient and effective way to do things. But that service is above and beyond the statutory required function of the role of the county attorney. All right, so it's a super statutory role. In the last several years, we've all seen growing political division between conservative and liberal political parties. Many situations have gone beyond reasonable political debate, rational debate, and unfortunately have mutated into anger and distrust on a personal level. Over the last 2 years, I've witnessed the elected county attorney exhibit what I, in my opinion, can only describe as hyper-partisan behavior. She has ignored presiding officers' orders in open meetings like this and continued to disrupt meetings even after being told to stop. I don't wish to be disrespectful, but I also believe that many of the recent decisions and actions and illegal activities being undertaken by the county attorney are proven to be inaccurate and
10 seconds.
partisan. This board has to make, everybody else back here, this board has to make a strong decision about everything you do. You need good legal advice to do that. You need to be able to have your own legal counsel. I agree with 30 Bravo to establish this division. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next.
The next speaker is Kenesia Oliver on agenda item 30A and B.
Hello, and I promise I won't take too long. But my name is Kenesia Oliver. I live in Precinct 2, 2050, and I am too a graduate of Fort Bend County and its ISD. And I've been living out here 27 of my 34 years. I would like to say this, and I'm speaking directly to you because you are the one that's going to have to make the decision. This is retaliation, and you need to stop it. You just sat here and took pictures with people that look like me. You represented a college that my friends went to, and you gave them proclamation. And now you're here attacking a Black woman doing her job. If this is what your leadership is going to be, Mr. Lamar, we are in trouble. You're going to have people that depend on these associate judges to do their jobs. And they're going to be in delay of care, delay of services because of retaliation. You are here, especially as a minority, because we are minorities, to represent people like me. Do not do this. My son depends on those family services. He has autism. Do not affect my 8-year-old boy behind nonsense that can be stopped. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Next.
The next speaker is Tony Aranda, and he is here for agenda item 30A and B.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Tony Aranda, and I am a Fort Bend resident of Precinct 2. I want to speak on agenda items 30A and B, but unfortunately, my Commissioner Prestage in Precinct 2 is not present to speak for us constituents. While I may or may not be in support of this, there are constituents in Precinct 2 that do or do not. But yet again, we do not have representation. So what happens when commissioners do not show up that are elected officials and they disagree with the county judge and his status? I understand they can challenge decisions they believe are unlawful, but there is a difference between disagreeing with government and refusing to participate in it. When a commissioner doesn't show up, they aren't there to ask the questions. They aren't there to advocate for the constituents, debate an issue, or cast a vote. County government can't conduct business taxpayers elected them to do, or to conduct. Roads, drainage, flood mitigation, infrastructure, contracts, and other county businesses can be delayed, and those delays can ultimately cost taxpayer money. But there's another consequence that I believe in even more, and that is representation. The people of Precinct 2 elected Commissioner Prestage to represent them at the table. They deserve to have their commissioner there, asking the hard questions, making arguments, protecting their interests, and voting on issues that affect their homes, their businesses, and their tax dollars. And this is where I think of Thomas Paine and Common Sense, his book that he wrote. Paine challenged the idea that government exists for those who hold power. His argument was that government exists because it's supposed to serve the people. That principle hasn't changed. You don't have to agree with county judge, you don't have to agree with the commissioners, you don't have to support every item that comes down before the commissioner's court. If you believe something is wrong, say so, but the commissioner's not here to say so. You can challenge it, but you're not here to challenge it. You can say it's wrong, but you're not here to say so. You can debate it, but you're not here to debate it. Put your objection on the public record if you feel so. But if you don't show up, you're not participating in the process, and the people that elected you to represent lose their voice at the table. And this isn't about personalities, it's about political party. It's not about political parties, it's not about whether you like or dislike the county judge. It's about a basic principle of representative government. Representation requires participation. The residents of Precinct 2 still have roads that need to be built, drainage problems that need to be addressed, taxes that need to be managed, and a county government that needs to function. Those responsibilities don't stop because elected officials disagree. Government has to keep working, and elected representatives have a responsibility to show up and do the job they were entrusted to do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming. Next.
The next speaker is Greg Barnes on agenda item 30B.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Greg Barnes. I'm a resident of Precinct 4. I'm going to speak a little bit differently about 30B here today, if I could. I'm a retired businessman. And in case anyone hasn't noticed, Fort Bend County has gotten huge. What we are asking you to do is to run this county more efficiently and frankly more like a business rather than a piggy bank. And one of those things is to make sure that you have things aligned and organized properly to where they run efficiently and with financial responsibility. I'm going to use a little term here that we used to use in industry. It's called scope creep. S-C-O-P-E, scope creep, C-R-E-E-P. We use that in industry all the time. And what it basically means is that you have to have defined roles and responsibilities in your business. And you must focus there. You must get hyper-focused there, where your department can be as efficient as possible. What has happened with the county attorney's office, no fault of hers, is that that office has been allowed over many years and over many administrations to devolve into a terrible, terrible problem with scope creep. And you basically force the county attorney to do things that really is not in her statutory role. It's time to fix that now before we go any further. It's time to let her focus her efforts and her work on what she is statutorily required to do by law, and to bring in assistance for other matters. And if we don't do that, if we don't fix it now, then it's going to end up costing this county millions of dollars, dare I say, could get into the billions in years to come if we don't fix it now. So I ask you to please pass 30B. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next.
The next speaker is Cynthia Ginyard on 30A and B.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wong and Commissioners. I'm not happy about being here because when I come, that is because I feel that something, a decision or proposal is immoral and very, very egregious. I have 3 compact mirrors in my hand. I come gift bearing to the officers, just compact mirrors, because I want you all to take them out of your desks and look at them from time to time. Take a look at yourselves. And they're nice too. I use one at home. I am not in agreement with 30A and 30B, but you didn't disappoint me, because the first measure you took under this regime was to eliminate the summer jobs for the kids. And Commissioner Prestige had to come to the rescue. And heaven knows it has gone downhill since then. Let me remind you of our address here, 301 Jackson Street. It's not 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Okay? You're here to serve the county and its citizens. And I don't feel like we're doing that. The efficiency of the courts, you all know the courts, any court in any county, the process, it's labored and we're going to reduce it by 5. Some people said 8, but 5 was on the agenda. And our associate judges have their own dockets. They don't just assist the judges, they run the court. So 5, and you know we're growing by leaps and bounds. You all know that. People love to come to Fort Bend. We're great, of course. We talked about this judge business a year ago, and it didn't go. And then you all come into power, and then here we go on the agenda. And I brought up the probate court. I didn't see anything about a probate court, and we need one. Remember, we are a growing county, okay? And then the county attorney's office. Now, it says that the new department is supposed to handle civil. Well, I am not a legal scholar. I'm not legal at all, but I thought that that's all the county attorney did was civil. Criminal goes to Mr. Middleton at the DA's office. Am I wrong or what? Sheriff, help me out here. I'm just honest. And by the way, I went to an HBCU, and all 3 of my girls went to Prairie View. So I appreciate you recognizing Prairie View and the staff members on, you know, this anniversary, 150 years. But don't throw me a bone. Okay? Don't throw me a bone. Yeah, let's do a proclamation. And hopefully that'll cover what we're really doing. Don't do that to me.
Thank you for coming. Next.
Yes, Vicky Kaufman, 30A and B.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Hello again, I'm Vicki Kaufman, yada yada. I wish y'all hadn't made me come back. I didn't intend to. I changed a bone stand appointment for this. Thanks a lot. This morning I happened to think of a meme that was going around during my time in the Navy. It was passed around as a Xerox copy, which was how you did it in those days. It was a hawk swooping down on a little mouse, which was obviously going to devour. Nevertheless, the little mouse was giving the hawk a rude gesture. That's the way I feel. I see you appear to have grown tired of taking the trouble to go out and find and buy legal advice that suits you. So you are proposing to move it in-house. I have no idea if you actually have the authority to do that, not having had time to look into it much since you sprung it on the county. What I do know is that it's yet another poke in the eye to voters. I will remind you that our county attorney is elected, same as some of you. I have been sick of this garbage since you did the mid-census redistricting at the direct or indirect behest of Orange Jabba the Hutt. Face it, we know where all this garbage is ultimately coming from. And just to add to it, you put removing associate justices on the agenda for the same meeting. One more poke in the eye, and counting, probably. I seldom give out direct advice, and I guess this really isn't advice, which of course you wouldn't take anyway, just a random thought. You might want to have a look at the concept of hubris. It comes from ancient Greek myth and theater. Those people knew a few things about pride going before a fall. I looked at Wikipedia to refresh my memory on hubris. I found something interesting, and I quote, "Hubris is usually perceived as a characteristic of an individual rather than a group." Congratulations, y'all! Y'all and other Fort Bend County Republicans are doing a real good job of proving that statement from Wikipedia wrong. Group hubris does exist. Thank you yet again for listening. I continue to hope not to have to do this anymore. Hope springs eternal.
Thank you for coming. Next.
So we can vote on 30A, 30B, and 33B.
Good afternoon. Samita Ghosh, longtime Fort Bend resident, and leave it up to folks to speak on the associate judges issue. And so what I wanted to speak on today was the inherent cruelty of what I call the corrupt cabal on this DS. Are we really surprised that the racist misogynists up there have had to resort to every trick in the book to claw into power? Remember, not a single person voted for you, Mr. Wong. Are we really surprised that the guardians of low piles of anointed judges who don't have to recuse themselves, apparently, whenever they see fit, that the law gives them the authority to, what gives them the authority to do this? What is the cost? Why are you doing this? It seems to be a surprise to everyone here what it is that's motivated beyond a pure power grab. Hypocrite Myers, since he's not the taxpayer's friend, and you mentioned we're going to save taxpayer money, how is creating a separate law firm and siphoning money to questionable people who have zero experience going to save the taxpayer's money? And certainly, you found, there's 3 words I wanted to use. Originally it was going to be about loyalty and liability, but after hearing the judges, you're a bunch of liars. There are no facts to support your reasoning for creating an associate judge's position, and there's absolutely no reason to create a separate law firm, which is what you're trying to do. In the issue of liability, Paxton raised this week. He criticizing his opponent for his loyalties because he did some legislation favoring China. Well, the Pedo Protector Party also raised loyalties about Chinese people of Chinese origin in the county clerk's race. So I'm going to raise it here. I don't care if I'm called a racist. What about your issues of Chinese loyalty? You seem to have come to America from dire poverty without pre-Tiananmen Square with, quote, no resources. How did you come here, and how did you get into University of Houston as an undergrad? And you can prove me wrong. The other question is liability. People talk about, this is not about whatever. 33B is about you signing a contract. Where is your delegation of authority? Where is your signatory authority? And finally, this whole thing about control. Why are you here? Why are you not recusing yourself? Every taxpayer has been shown this week that you are willing to recuse yourself on Monday's vote. So because Tesla isn't involved, your own pockets aren't involved, this corrupt cabal, you specifically, are still up here on the DS denying the rights of people in precinct 2 and 4 from their duly elected people being up there. You are the selfish one, you are the liar, you are a liability, and I question your loyalty.
Thank you for coming. Next.
The next speaker is Remington Heckler on 30A.
Just in time, I just pushed my haircut back. Howdy, my name is Remington Keckler, and I'm here to speak on 30A and B. And to me, this whole thing is sketchy as all get out. I mean, when you do stuff like this, and we're focused so much on the county attorney instead of the actual stuff that's affecting us, it shows that you don't have trust in your own system and your own government. And government is built on trust. You trust me that I'm not going to go 125 miles in my Honda Element down the road, and I trust that you are going to protect me. So it's a basic social contract, and when you do stuff like this, you start to break down that social contract. And especially in young people, people my age, we build our entire relationships based on trust. We have one of the lowest voter turnouts because we don't have trust that the government is going to do anything for us. We don't have trust that they're going to protect us. We don't have trust that you guys are going to be able to do your jobs effectively. And every time you refuse to accuse yourself, or every time you go flip-floppy on a situation, every time that you do something sketchy like this, you are tearing down the trust of us constituents in our own government. And a government can't work if you don't have the support of your own citizens. So I plead to you, to all the commissioners, that to the part of you when you first got involved, to where you wanted to make a difference, to where you saw a problem in your community and you said, I want to fix that. I plead to you, to that part of you, to stop this nonsense. Please. Because this is not just politics or some hobby that I like to be a part of. This is my actual livelihood. This is my future. This is people's day-to-day lives that you are messing with. Please stop this and do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Next.
The next speaker is Caitlin Ford on agenda item 30A.
Good afternoon. Hey, please to the board. My name is Caitlin Borg, and I'm a board-certified family law attorney that's been practicing in Fort Bend County for over the last decade. I've watched the courts evolve. I've watched the creation of new courts, and most recently watched the creation of a brand new court that was created because there is a need in our county. I am born and raised in Fort Bend County. I'm a product of these schools, and I represent many clients who need access to justice. It is a pleasure to practice law in Fort Bend County, but what is not going to be a pleasure for the families of this community is not having access to judges who can resolve emergency issues. These family courts aren't hearing contract disputes. They're hearing family violence protective orders where there's significant bodily harm. They're hearing about sexual molestation allegations and making determinations that directly impact the children of this county, that directly impact my children. And at the end of the day, the removal of the judges that have been placed in the associate judges' roles or defunding them is only going to increase the backlog that already exists and is going to decrease open courts for our constituents. I work at a firm with 19 lawyers. My lawyers could fill the courtrooms of Fort Bend County, and there still wouldn't be time in the day to reach all of the cases that are necessary. If we remove 3 judges who are there 8 hours a day, if not longer, hearing matters, those cases are going to go longer and longer, and people will end up dead. I practice also in Harris County, and we can't get hearings down there, and people are dying. Children are committing suicide. And that, if you remove these associate judges' roles here, that blood is going to be on y'all's hands. Because we need to be able to see our judges in emergency situations. Judge Rollins got up here and she told y'all about how she hears POs first, the protective orders. That means she could be backlogged for a day hearing that issue. And maybe another protective order doesn't get reached. She can't send that down the hall to Judge Young if Judge Young isn't there. And somebody could die. This isn't something where I'm exaggerating. This is things that I've experienced in my practice with people who cannot get in front of the courts. And at the end of the day, y'all really need to consider. You started this session by saying, Fort Bend is growing, and with that growth comes the responsibility. Well, then at that point, you need to be responsible for the lives that you're impacting, not just your budget. You need to consider the children that I represent, the children that our practitioners and our judiciary serve, and you need to place them first. Because right now, you're placing policy over people who are taxpayers, who are here, who are in. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Next.
Thank you. Someone on 30A and B.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. So, I'm gonna talk on 30A and 30B. My name is Anthony Laxalana. I'm a member of the United Latin American Citizens, as well as on the board for the Fort Bend Voters League here in Fort Bend. The judge, I want to salute the judges that came up here and spoke. They outlined the problem, and it's amazing to me that we're revisiting this again after we were talking about this a year ago and it wasn't a good idea then. I'd like to see a judge come up and tell us why it's a good idea to do it. Or maybe this is something that should have taken place in consideration before it was ever brought up or put on the agenda. My dad used to have a saying about never playing chess with a pigeon, and I know, Mr. Wong, you can appreciate this, you have a good sense of humor. Never play chess with a pigeon, because all the pigeon's going to do is knock over all the pieces and crap on the board and fly away and think it's winning, right? And it's really what I see happening here. There's two things on the agenda. One is 30A, which talks about eliminating something that has brought our courts into an efficient mode at very reasonable cost. The second is, for no reason whatsoever, with no explanation, no transparency, and no reasoning behind it, why we would enact this. I mean, from a voter standpoint of view, I think y'all would get a lot more mileage by giving some consideration to these agenda action items, and maybe having a little discussion on it in public, you know, at least that. And maybe some people would consider the optics a little bit better. Now, the one common denominator I see here, and I've noticed since the beginning of your appointment here, Mr. Wong, is that there's a common denominator on bad decisions, and I'm not sure who's making them or who's pulling the strings on it. Because I see like the air conditioning for our great, our county attorney not being repaired for 3 or 4 months, and then the day after it's repaired, amazingly enough, on social media, it's declared Air Conditioning Appreciation Day. You know, or we come up here and we're talking about something that's happening with the county attorney that would take power away and also rob the most important people of judicial consideration. And we're saluting Prairie View. It just seems so superficial. The optics on it are horrible, horrible from a voter's point of view, and people see this. I'd like to ask that y'all rule without, instead of using smash and grab politics, basically, which is what's happening here, is to rule with some consideration. Have some moral fiber, and when you get up here and talk about how you want to serve the community at the beginning of the meeting, please, by all means, let that happen in your decisions also. You're not here to maintain power for the Republican Party. You're here to serve the people of Fort Bend County. Thank you, Mr. Myers, for your service also in my precinct.
Thank you for coming. Next.
Judge.
Yes.
I'm informed that the live streaming is freezing up. Is that correct?
Yes. So we have a concurrent parallel YouTube channel going on.
So it's still online.
Because we're having issues with Swagit. So
okay. So people can
from the very beginning they can join the YouTube channel so that way they can watch it from the very beginning.
Okay. So do they need to be informed of that?
Swagit is having an issue, so we're trying to.
Do they know that they can join this other YouTube channel?
Yes, because it's on the page. It's
okay,
right
yeah,
below the Swagit page.
On the website, there's also the link to YouTube, so if one is buffering.
Just want to make certain that they can see.
Yes, sir. It's there.
All right, thank you. Let's go on next speaker.
The next speaker is Eduardo Lopez de Casas on agenda item 30B.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. First of all, let me thank the commissioners present for letting me address this wonderful court on this fantastic day when our area is waiting for our wonderful president to grace us with his presence in this area and shed light on our problems here. My name is Eduardo Lopez de Casas, and I'm the founder of the Menudo Club movement, and I am here to tell you that our movement is definitely in favor of a legal department civil division for the fiscal year 2027. Other counties are structured similarly and are doing this very well. It has proven to be effective and efficient. And we would like for our county judge, Daniel Wong, to have as much help as possible to make our county also run efficiently. Our movement definitely supports Judge Wong, and we all agree that he is doing a wonderful job for our community. The time has come for our county to continue supporting the judge that we have. As someone from the Manila Club, we need to do things more efficiently, and we are very tired of seeing what is happening here at our Commissioner's Court. We are mobilizing, and thank God that the movement is growing statewide, because the Latino community has come to realize that what we are seeing, particularly here in Fort Bend, has some awful racial overtones. And what needs to be said, and what we are communicating, is that we are no longer the minority. We are the majority. And we do not appreciate what is happening here. The court needs to get down to doing its business and running the county. I come from a race, I come from a people that is structured in a way that if you want a phone, if you want a television, if you want a new truck, we instruct our children, you go out and you work for it. You do not sit there and expect to be handed things for free from our government. That's not what we're here for. So again, I'm here to say that the Manila Club is definitely in favor of 30B. And Judge, we want you to know that we are here. My community is here to support you and the other commissioners that are here actually doing their job. We do not appreciate those who do not show up for work. Gracias.
Thank you. Next.
The next speaker is Doug White on agenda item 30B.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. I'm just an engineer, not an eloquent speaker, so bear with me. I'm a 32-year resident of Fort Bend County. I live in Precinct 3, Precinct 3102 in Sugar Land and Avalon. In that time, I've seen Fort Bend County grow probably 3 times in size, Sugar Land almost 4 times in size. Things have changed in our county, and I believe that a civil attorney under the Commissioner's Court will provide clarity on what the commissioners need to get accomplished and have responsibilities and priorities that are associated with the Commissioner's Court. This is a common practice in counties around us, even larger counties. Dividing civil and litigation responsibilities will allow focus for the county attorney and not the Fort Bend County's commissioner's business in running the county. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next.
Next speaker is Lenitra Larry on agenda item 30B.
Good afternoon, members of the Commissioner's Court. I actually was coming up here to speak on an item, but I believe we need to pause to get clarification on the live stream because we still may not.
So it is on the same page and it's right below it.
It's right below it, okay.
It's right below it.
We're getting conflicting testimony of people not being able to see it, so.
It's on YouTube. I'm monitoring it right now. I'm listening to it right now, so it is live on YouTube.
Thank you. County business. Good afternoon. My name is Lenitra Larry, and I am a resident of Fort Bend County. I have been for over 15 years. I'm here today to talk about agenda item number 30 because it affects me personally. It affects the members of the division and my office. I'd like to introduce the General Counsel team because we talk so much about, the item that we forget the people that are doing the work. So Mike Wynn, who's here? Rodney Brown, Byron O'Neill, Jennifer Fox, if y'all stand. I know you don't want to. Kenderlyn Jasper, Tamesia Glover, Darius Porter, who is actually away at a legislative conference, Sandra Hinojosa, and Jasmine Vasquez. These are the individuals who are potentially affected by agenda item 30B. And I guess we should be honored that the Commissioner Court wants us as your private attorney. But that prevents a problem for us because we take an oath to the state of Texas. It's our ethical duty. And reporting to any individual that's not a non-lawyer, that presents a problem. That can put us in violation of our Texas Rules of Disciplinary Procedure. And it also limits our ability to give sound legal advice to you all without the fear of retaliation if what we advise is not acceptable. We've given unpopular advice to elected officials across the board because our advice is based on the law and is not always going to line up with any particular political party. And I don't need my clients, and we don't need our clients to like us, but we need them to trust us and to know that the advice we're giving is the law. And we have combined experience. I mean, the experience that you have in my team is phenomenal. We have and I know this is about non-litigation civil services. You can't go by the title of civil division. The majority of my team, majority of my lawyers, we have over 120 years of litigation experience. Most of us came in with at least 15 to 16 litigation behind us before we even started general counsel. Our division does litigation. We're in active litigation right now. We handle the dangerous dogs. We handle the bond forfeitures. We do a lot of things that people just don't understand what are. We don't just do contracts, although that's a big part of it. We handle open records. Our division handles so many different aspects of the county. So moving it to a different department, I don't even know how they would handle the logistics of that. I worked under the previous county attorney, Roy Corpus.
10 seconds.
And was kept on as a assistant county attorney, as many of us were, by our current county attorney, Bridget Smith Lawson. She didn't know many of us. She had no reason to trust us, but she watched us work and determined that it was in the best interest of the county to continue the business of the county. And it was better for us to continue our work than it was for her to bring in her own private team, which she had the authority to do. That's leadership. That's putting the county first. It's over politics. It's over anybody's personal feelings about how someone runs their office. Fort Bend County is our client. That is who we represent. We don't represent any one individual. We represent the department heads. We represent the employees. We represent the elected officials altogether. Fort Bend County. And the law requires checks and balances. We see that going on on the national level. We don't want that here in Fort Bend County. We want to be able to say that Fort Bend County is different than the others. Who wants to be like everyone else? Fort Bend County is a great county. We have done great work here. We have great people. We're not assets. These individuals have families. We have bills. We have problems like everyone else. We come to work every day. We don't work 9 to 5. We all work around the clock. I apologize to some of you because you'll get an email from me at 2 to 3 in the morning. That's just, the work can't stop at 5 o'clock because the county doesn't stop at 5 o'clock. The law should not be hijacked by any political party, any administration, because once we lose that rule of law, we lose democracy. You create loyalties instead of impartial experts, because that's what we are. When we write a contract, we don't ask anyone their political affiliation. It doesn't matter. It's the county. We get the work done. The erosion starts with just one simple action. Just one simple action. That has the effect of destroying legal independence. I want to thank you all. My GC team, they're dedicated, they're hard workers. Any loss of you all will be detrimental to this county. Regardless of how this court votes today, of course, I would love for you all to vote against it. But regardless of how you vote, I want you all to know that God is in control.
Okay? Our fate is not determined by the vote of this court. Okay? You all are brilliant lawyers, admin, staff, wonderful. So we will be okay. I don't want you to, feel like this is it. We love Fort Bend County. We're here every day. We've had a rough last year and a half. We still do the work, regardless. Regardless of the politics, we do the work that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
On agenda item 30B.
Good afternoon, Judge Wong and Commissioners. Thank you for having me. My name is David Burshak, and I live in precinct 4001 in Del Webb Sweetness. And I'm going to be brief. It's almost 2:30, and I think you've heard all of this several times over, so I just want to do a Cliff Notes version of it. I'm speaking in support of Agenda 30B. Fort Bend County Commissioners Court is proposing the creation of a legal department with a civil division. This is not unprecedented in Texas. Several counties have confirmation from the Texas Attorney General that they can create legal departments to advise on the county's non-litigation legal services. If item 30B passes, the county attorney will have more time to perform the duties assigned to that office by the state of Texas law. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Next.
The next speaker is Philip Ryan on agenda item 30B.
They're checking. Let's see. They're checking. No? If he comes back, let us know. Next.
The next speaker is Farah Ahmed, also on agenda item 30A and B.
Good afternoon. Oh boy. So I'm standing here in front of 3 Republicans on this dais, and this is the best ideas that you can come up with. You're going to be held accountable, hopefully in the elections, for your bad ideas. I can't believe that I'm coming here less than a year and a half ago talking about protecting our justice system. I'm an attorney. I've been practicing for 20 years in Fort Bend County and other surrounding counties. And I cannot tell you that the quality of justice that we have here is unsurpassed. You are trying to meddle in something that is not broken and that is working just the way it's supposed to be. Our courts move fast because people need justice fast. I deal with cases where people's homes are being foreclosed. They're being kicked out of their homes. They need the court to save their family home. They need relief. I also go to courts where a minor child is injured severely at many times, and they need relief. Their parents are very worried that there's not enough money for that child and their injuries until they reach adulthood. We need swift justice and relief, and we need to be taking care of these courts. Many of these cases are being taken care of by the associate judges, while the presiding judge is dealing with complex issues and jury trials. Any kind of move to actually reduce the number of associate judges doesn't make any sense. Getting rid of them can really produce real harm to the people of Fort Bend. And shame on anyone that doesn't understand this. With all the education on the dais, I can't believe that you've come to the decision that fewer judges improve justice for us citizens. In regards to what's happening in the county attorney's office, her office deals with so much that makes our quality of life so much better and safer, protecting consumers and businesses in our county. We need that office fully funded so that it can do its day-to-day job to protect the citizens of Fort Bend County. Once again, I can't believe that you're thinking of reducing that quality of life for Fort Bend County and that is good for Fort Bend County. Here's a list of things that the county attorney does in terms of getting involved in enforcement. Environmental regulations, nuisance laws, harmful products sold to consumers, health code violations in restaurants and places of business, violating liquor laws. I want to make sure that you understand that this Commissioner's Court needs to base its decision on facts, not on political tantrums and retaliation.
Thank you. Next.
The next speaker is Marquette Green Scott, also here on agenda item 30A and B.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm used to being on the other side, so this is new for me. I wrote everything down. I'm here on 30A and 30B. Associate judges play a vital role in the Fort Bend judicial system, especially in high-volume areas such as family law cases. Removing them will have immediate and measurable consequences. This will cause longer case delays, a strain on district court judges, harm to children and families, and reduce access to justice. This decision does not streamline justice, it restricts it. As a family law attorney who practices here in Fort Bend County Courts, I appreciate the role that associate judges play in my family law cases. To remove them will cause harm to the residents of Fort Bend County by slowing or even delaying justice. I'm asking that you not eliminate the associate judge positions. That action would be to the detriment of Fort Bend County residents. Now on item 30B. This decision by the Commissioner's Court to create a separate legal department independent from the long-established County Attorney's Office marks a dramatic shift in how this county handles legal oversight, governance, and accountability. The voters chose Bridgette Smith Lawson twice to serve as the county's chief legal representative to provide counsel, ensure compliance with state law, and to protect taxpayer interests. She is answerable to the voters. The attorneys of this parallel legal office will be answerable to the members of Commissioner's Court. This will certainly weaken the independence of legal counsel, an independence that exists to protect residents, not politicians. The Commissioner's Court does not have the power to usurp the authority, functions, and duties imposed by law on the county attorney. We are witnessing a trend where if the majority of the body doesn't like the person the voters elected, you override the will of the voters by stripping the elected official of powers bestowed on them by the Texas Constitution or another governing document. As an elected official, this is very concerning to me. Elected officials must understand their duty to residents. I'm asking that you not vote to create this parallel legal office, taking the impartiality from these attorneys who were just standing. Remember, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Pilgrim on agenda item 30A.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and everybody. My name is Rocky Pilgrim. I am a family. Like this?
Good.
Is that better? Everyone can hear me in stereo now? We were here a year and a half ago. Like I said, my name is Rocky Pilgrim. I am a family lawyer here in Fort Bend County. My office and my home are here in Fort Bend County. We talked last time about the devastating impact that it would have on our families, on our businesses, if you guys removed the associate judges. And yet we're here again with nothing having changed except the population growth, the explosion of our cases. No one's discussed how many more cases we have by pro se litigants, which means a lot more time for our judges and having to deal with them because they are This is about families. This is not about positions. This is not a political issue. Please don't make it a political issue. Judge Wong, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet. You have a choice today to prove to the residents of Fort Bend County whether your leading statements and invocation are true or just hollow words that sound nice. All of you commissioners have the same choice to make. If you choose to remove these associate judges, I am not exaggerating, just like Caitlin said, we are on the front lines of these families, the people who vote, the people who live here. We're on the front lines. You will cause actual harm, in many cases catastrophic harm. This is not something where it's just an administrative hassle and we're going to make the judges work a little bit more and whatever. You will cause actual harm. I would invite you all, instead of thinking about what you can take away from the residents of Fort Bend County, to start considering what you can bring to the residents of Fort Bend County. I have not heard yet anyone discussing, even though we talk about the huge population growth, we don't have a domestic relations office here. We don't have basic services for our residents that all of our surrounding counties have. We don't have supervising agency for parents who have to be supervised with their kids. We're not even having conversations about that. Instead, we're having a conversation about something that was resolved a year ago. You guys have already heard about the issues that we have with the OCA. I invited you last year, and I invite you again. Hang out with me for a day if you don't want to go down the street and hang out with the judges. See what we have to put up with. See how my conversations with my clients go when I have to explain to them, even now, that it takes weeks or months to get a hearing. I'm going to finish by quoting the Mays versus Fifth Court of Appeals case. The inherent power of the courts to compel funding arises out of principles and doctrines that are so thoroughly embedded as to form the very foundation of our government structure. The judiciary may often be denominated as the third branch of government, but that does not mean it is third in importance. It is in reality one of the three equal branches. As such, the judiciary is an integral part of our government and cannot be impeded in its function by legislative intransigence and funding. These associate judges aren't just a convenience, they're not just nice to have. They are essential to the function of our judiciary and the administration of our courts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Next speaker is Arnold Lewis on agenda item 38 and B.
Good afternoon. My name is
including all civil matters. The Commissioner's Court does not have the authority to defund the office of the county attorney, or interfere with the performance of her statutory duties, or create a cherry-picked shadow legal department with our tax dollars that will answer to the commissioners instead of the public at large, creating what we've heard is a conflict of interest. We are watching what workplace retaliation looks like in real time. We are watching how you try to give proclamations to African American universities while actively defunding and attacking the county attorney, our first African American female county attorney in the state, a historical figure. The county attorney has issued legal opinions that some of you with partisan issues may not agree with. That is not the basis to usurp the voices of the voters with political gains, with workplace retaliation, and abuse our public trust and waste our tax dollars. So what happens when you disagree with the Fort Bend County Sheriff? Are you going to defund his office too? This is not what democracy looks like. This is not responsible governance, and I'm sorry to say, this is a shame, and this should have never, ever been put on the agenda.
Thank you for coming. Next.
I'm sorry, it's Philip Bryan didn't show yet, but Julie McShay,
Okay.
also on agenda item 30A and B.
Okay.
My name is July McShay, and I'm here, came as a reporter, but right now I'm gonna be a professor because that is what my full-time job is. And I teach government, particularly federal and Texas government. So I take issue with a lot that has been said here today as a JD and as a professor and as a reporter, because a lot of it has been misguided and incorrect. Mr. Morales, you spent 6 years as mayor of Rosenberg. County government does not operate like a city government. You can appoint a city attorney. A county attorney is elected in Texas. Furthermore, with the county attorney, to attempt to remove the powers, to usurp the powers of the county attorney, create a subdivision, is very misleading to say other counties do this. They do not. Other counties have their civil division under the district attorney, because those attorneys who work in that division must work for an attorney, not for this body or for a county commissioner's court. There are 254 counties in the state of Texas, and none of them have that operation. They may have an operation where their civil division is adjoined with their district attorney's office. The attempt that's being done today, the persons that it will most impact, hurt, and crush are the citizens of Fort Bend County, because the amount of litigation that is going to happen, the amount of litigation that is going to happen will crush this county. All the things that you've been working on and for throughout your careers, Mr. Myers. Mr. Myers, on the website, it says, I am a strong believer in fiscal responsibility. Well, let me tell you, this is not fiscally responsible. I built my career as a public administrator, finishing my master's at Texas Southern University in 2006. I moved back home to Florida and worked as a county planner for the 29th largest school district in the country. I know county governance. I'm telling you, you don't want to vote for this, Mr. Myers. It will come back and hunt you and your legacy. Same thing to you, Mr. Morales. You don't want to vote for this. On your website, it says that your son is a county court judge at law. It says your platform have a high level of county services and infrastructure to provide a high level county services and infrastructure to the residents and taxpayers that you represent. I'm telling you right now, you're crushing infrastructure with these decisions if you support either one of these items, 30A or 30B. Now let me move to 30A and how it will impact you. Families, if a family loses their child because you change the progress and the flow of these courts by this decision, if they sue you for the loss of their child personally, they will be within their rights. So I need you to be mindful, Mr. Wong, that you right now are breaking the law because you do not have legal authority to even be here today. And I'm not telling you that to read you or to be disrespectful. I'm telling you this as a neighbor to advise you to be very mindful of whatever advice you've been getting, that it has not been in your best interest, but it must be in someone's best interest, but it's not yours. And in closing, the Texas Constitution requires explicitly that the elected DA or separate county attorney, like the fine county attorney who's been twice elected here today, acts as the official legal advisor and representative for Commissioners Court and county officials. Gentlemen, you have a duty to the thousands of families that reside here in Fort Bend County and the people who are moving here in droves. You have a duty to act fiscally responsible, to be mindful of what infrastructure is. There was a time they called this body road commissioners. I need you to remember what the role is. The role is not to usurp power from duly elected people, because what goes around may come around. And I'm not talking about through us, but I believe both of you are men of faith, and he judges. He judges. And it might not strike you. It may strike someone in a generation behind you that is connected to you, a family member, a grandchild, a son, a daughter, a spouse. Be mindful that we serve a mighty God, and he is a jealous God. He does not play about his children, none of them. This is a woman of faith. You prayed earlier, Mr. Wong. I don't know if you recall what you said in your prayer, but I wrote it down, and I will be sharing it with my thousands of followers across social media, as I am a social media influencer, in addition to all the other things. So I want you to be mindful of the decisions you're making today. Mr. Wong, you could have a bright future, but you also may have a future with a bright orange jumpsuit if you make the wrong decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Terry Webster on agenda item 30A and 30B.
It's okay. It's okay.
As I stand here, I need you to pay attention to the shirt as I speak. I had a different sentence for my opening until that horrific, stupid, ignorant display of recognizing a university that means so much to our community. You think we are stupid. You think we are dumb. You think we don't see what you're doing. But to my black folks in this community, pay attention, because it is open season on us. And come November, it will be open season on you. Mr. Wong, you spoke earlier about coming with facts. I have some for you. In 2020, Bridget Smith Lawson was elected with over 177,000 votes, the first African-American woman county attorney in the state of Texas in 175 years. In 2024, she was re-elected with over 195,000 votes by the people of this county to serve it until 2028. In what world do you think it is okay to take the funds and the staff away from a county attorney that we elected to prop one up solely for the purpose of doing what it is you want, not doing the constituents' business, but what you want? In what world do you think it's okay? I swear to God, there's not an ounce of dignity, honesty, honor between the three of you. I'm truly done not calling this exactly what it is. It's time we be honest, and I'm not going to keep pussyfooting around it. We have a saying in our community that if there is one thing a weak white man can't stand, is a black woman with a law degree. And the three of you have sat up here. I have watched in every commissioner's court meeting, the three of you, especially you, Commissioner Myers, demonstrate the truth of that every single time. Lastly, Mr. Wong, you mentioned in your opening that the people sent you here. I'm gonna go back to the facts that I cited a minute ago. 195,000 Fort Bend County citizens sent Bridget Smith Lawson here. Not one person, zero, nada, nobody has sent you here. Nobody. My black people, wake up. Wake up. If you are watching this on YouTube, on Facebook, on wherever, wake up. They need to be down here in these halls every time this court is open. And another thing, it should not be lost on anybody, the makeup of these associate judges that you are trying to get rid of either. Between County Attorney Lawson and those mostly women and black women, it's real clear what's happening down here. And you can bet your last money, come November, we and anybody else that believes in right and decency will show you exactly what you should be doing. And if there's a God in heaven come January 1st, 2027, you will not be sitting here thinking that you run something that you do not run.
Thank you for coming. Next.
Jen Matthews, agenda item 30B.
We'll wait a little while. Looks like they're coming. Let's see. No?
If Mr. Matthews is not here,
Okay.
we can go to the next
Go to the next one, please.
Scott West.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have had the pleasure of meeting you, Judge Wong, and you, Commissioner Myers, and Commissioner Morales. I've known you for years. You know me. I am pushing 40 years in Fort Bend County and 40 years practicing law. I am triple board certified. I try civil cases from New York to California, Chicago, down to South Texas. My home is Fort Bend County. My family is in Fort Bend County. My office is in Fort Bend County. I practice also in Fort Bend County. As a practitioner, to reduce the number of associate judges, it is a catastrophic mistake. 30A is not only a bad idea, it should be opposed by anyone who analyzes it in an objective, reasonable, and apolitical manner. Justice is not political. I said that last year when I was here. The right decision was made last year. The associate judges' positions were maintained. They should remain unaffected. They should not be removed. I was encouraged driving 90A to the courthouse today. I saw many campaign posters, signs for judges. I didn't see a political party addressed by any of the signs that I saw. Justice is not political. Decisions affecting judges should not be political. Justice doesn't know D's or R's or I's or L's. Justice doesn't know black or white or straight or gay or rich or poor. Justice is blind. Justice is solid. Justice should be predictable, and justice should be swift. If you reduce the number of associate judges, justice will not be delivered to the many residents, citizens of Fort Bend County. I have tried over 200 cases around the nation, and I can tell you again, as I told you last year, Fort Bend County runs efficiently and fairly, and I have seen the backlog in courts in other states and other jurisdictions, including Harris County. Fort Bend County is the gold standard. It should remain unaffected. It should not be disrupted. It should not be turned on its head for any reason, political or otherwise. There has been no one to speak in favor of reducing the associate judges that I've heard, not one. And so we talk about facts. We talk about evidence. We talk about doing the right thing. The right thing is to either remove 30A from the agenda or reject it. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Next.
Sharmila Jones on 30A and B.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Sharmila Jones, and I reside in Precinct 4. I'm here speaking on behalf of the NAACP, Missouri City and Vicinity Branch, as well as Democracy and Respect for Fort Bend County residents and voters regarding items 30A and 30B. I'm here because I'm deeply concerned about the actions that appear to weaken the ability of duly elected officers and public institutions to carry out their responsibilities. The NAACP has spent generations fighting for fairness, accountability, and protection of the democratic process. Those principles require us to ask and answer difficult questions when decisions involving public offices, judicial resources, and taxpayer money are considered. We believe the public deserves transparency about why these changes are necessary, particularly right now. As a former educator, I have a few questions for you to consider and ultimately address to the public before taking this vote. You're invited to take notes. It's kind of what we do in class. What specific problem is being solved by these actions? What evidence can you provide that demonstrates creating a separate legal division department under Commissioner's Court will better serve the public? Explain who benefits from these changes. What impact will they have on families who depend on our courts? And finally, has the public been given a clear explanation of the financial, legal, and operational consequences of these actions? I am a champion for democracy and efficient government. The NAACP is deeply troubled about whether these actions will move us further from the access to justice and disproportionately affect communities that already face barriers navigating the courts and our government. Government should never be about a line item in a budget. Behind every decision are these residents who depend on our county government to function fairly, efficiently, and equitably. You may disagree, you may dislike, you may even challenge, but disagreements should not become justification for systemically stripping away resources or authority to perform a job. Our democracy works best when duly elected officials are allowed to carry out the duties entrusted to them by the voters, us. The NAACP is asking this court to follow the premise mentioned in our scriptures. We've heard the Bible being talked about here, specifically in the book of James, and that is to slow down, provide transparency, consider the consequences for the community, and reject actions that undermine the ability of duly elected officers to serve the people. These actions could set a dangerous and slippery slope, and I will also repeat what someone else has said before. Because we can, politics has no business in Fort Bend County. Power should not be used to punish political opponents, settle disagreements, or circumvent the will of the voters. And just because you think you can, doesn't mean you should. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Next.
The only speaker left is Mr. Dan Matthews, and I'm not sure if he's really here or if he's still here.
Is he or not? Okay, he's not? Okay,
Then
he's
there
not.
are no more speakers.
All right, I will start.
That's all I have. I'm not sure who's asking.
Okay, so we don't have anyone?
We don't
Okay,
have anyone else like that.
all right. Well, I want to appreciate all the speakers today. Thank you so much. Now, it's now 2:59 p.m. We now moved on to agenda item number 5, public hearings. Conduct public hearings and take all appropriate action on the following matters. I now open the public hearing session for agenda items 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, and 5E, subsections A through I, as properly posted and described on the agenda. Do we have anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this public hearing today, on those items? I would like to ask again, is there anyone here today who would like to speak on these public hearing items? Seeing none, I will close these public hearings. I have been informed these items are ready for action. Is there a motion to approve agenda items 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, and 5E, subsection A through I?
Your Honor, I move approval of 5A through E as presented. Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Now I present the court consent agenda items 6 through 19. I am not aware of any changes, so do I have any motion to approve consent agenda items 6 through 19? 6 through 19.
Your Honor, I move approval of 6 through 19 as presented. Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Before proceeding with the discussion agenda item, in the order presented, I would like to take up the agenda items 30A and 30B under Mr. Melvinus at this time. Is there any objection to taking these items out of order?
No.
All right, let's move on to item 30A and 30B. I know a lot of audience interest in those items. I would like to take it up now.
Excuse me, I would like to make an objection for the record to preserve the interest of my office. I object to any actions taken on item 30B as the duly elected county attorney. I want the record to reflect my objection. I did not receive notice of this until after the agenda was published to the public. I received awareness of this action that would materially impact my office. At the same time that the general public received the same, I submitted an email to each one of you regarding clarification regarding this action, and I've been wholly ignored. No one has explained to me the justification of this, and no one has given me any data or any rationale for materially altering an office that is 37 years old. I want to make sure that the record reflects that, and I object to the vote that would possibly adopt this action. Thank you so much.
Thank you, County Attorney, for your comments. Let's move forward with item number 30A. Take all appropriate action regarding fiscal year 2027 funding for 5 associate judge position and related budgetary adjustment.
Yes, Your Honor. I move that Commissioners Court approve funding for 5 associate judge positions for fiscal year 2027 and authorize all related budgetary adjustments necessary to implement the court's action. As part of the transition to 5 funded positions, I further move that funding for the 3 associate judge positions not included in the fiscal year 2027 funding level be continued through December 31st, 2026, with such funding terminating thereafter, and authorize the appropriate county departments and officials to take all necessary budgetary and administrative actions to implement the court's action.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Let's go forward with the agenda item number 30B. Olga, please read the agenda item 30B.
30B, take all appropriate action for fiscal year 2027 to establish a legal department, civil division, as a separate county department under the authority and direction of Commissioners Court to provide non-litigation civil legal services and support to Fort Bend County, transfer attorney and support staff positions and associated funding and resources, and authorize all necessary budgetary, personnel, administrative, and operational actions to implement the same, subject to applicable law.
Yes, Your Honor. I move that Commissioners Court establish a legal department, civil division, a separate county department under the authority and direction of Commissioners Court effective October 1st, 2026. And further move that the budget for the associated salaries, benefits, funding, equipment, and resources for attorney and support staff positions be transferred from the county attorney budget and established within the new department without interruption to county employment, compensation, benefits, or approved leave. The department shall operate under the authority and direction of Commissioner Court with a lead attorney or other person designated by Commissioner Court to oversee the department reporting directly to Commissioner Court, and the legal department and civil division shall, subject to applicable laws, operate so as not to conflict with the authority of Fort Bend County attorney as prescribed by Texas Government Code Section 45.179. Interpreting 45.79A to mean actual litigation in judicial courts and is not authorized to represent the county or its officials in any judicial proceedings.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to hear from our, there's questions as to what, what actions we're taking as legal.
We can discuss it. Do you want to have that discussion? I think we are. What do you want to discuss?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all, I think it's legal. That's from our attorney.
County attorney says it's not legal.
Yeah, let's proceed. I think it's good.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we do have a motion and second, please, order. I appreciate that. You have already made your comments. We do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0.
And like I said, no honor, nothing.
It's okay, it's okay.
Honorable, don't worry, I'm leaving without that.
Thank you,
Don't worry.
thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now we will continue with agenda item number 20, presented under county judge. There is a correction to this item. Olga, please read this item as corrected.
20, take all appropriate action to honor former Fort Bend County Judge Robert E. Hebert by renaming the Office of Emergency Management Building as Robert E. Hebert, and the correction is, as presented to you in red, it should be Emergency Operations Center.
Okay, all right. That's the motion, that's the item.
I move for approval.
Okay, I'll second it, but I have a suggestion. Robert E. Hebert has always been known as Bob Hebert.
Okay.
Is there a particular reason we left Bob out? I mean, we have the Butler Shields Center, so I guess that, is it possible to add Bob to the
Can I make a suggestion? Why don't we ask the family?
Yeah,
Well,
I think
I
that's
haven't asked somebody to ask the family, and I thought they had. Apparently they didn't. So, how do we want to proceed on this? I think it's a good idea to name it after him. I'm not opposing that. I'm just, to me, everybody knew Bobby Hebert, Bobby Hebert.
I say that we approve it.
We ask the family.
We approve it with either Robert or Bob Hebert.
Well, Robert E. Bob Hebert would be the way that I think it would be best presented, because he is Robert E. Hebert.
That is correct.
So just adding Bob in the middle, so.
Add the word Bob
Subject
also.
to the agreement of the family.
Okay,
All right.
so we got a motion?
That'll be
The
the
item,
second.
you second?
He seconded.
So Laura, you got the item is,
One more time.
Okay, one more time.
The motion is, by name the facility, the Bob Bear, with the, agreement with the, that Bob will be added.
got it, and second. So we have a motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 21A and B presented by the auditor.
Move approval of item 21A and B is presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second, any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item number 22 presented by the county attorney will be polled. Agenda item 23 presented by the county clerk.
Move approval of 23 is presented.
Second.
Motion has been made for item number 23, has been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 24A through N, presented by engineering.
Move approval of 24A through N as presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Now let's go to item number 25. No, wait a minute. Yes, that's item number 25. That's right. Here you go. Fire marshal. Take all appropriate action to consider order prohibiting outdoor burning in Fort Bend County, Texas, to be effective beginning at 5 p.m. on August 27, 2026, pursuing the local government code section 352.081. So we do need to take action on that interlocal agreement.
You want 25A or 25A and B?
Let's do the 25A first.
All right, I'll move approval of 25A as presented.
Second, and we might want Chief Jurek to come up and.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit. That would be great.
Good morning, good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. Fort Bend County Fire Marshal's also been monitoring the KPDI, which is known as the Keach Byram Drought Index. This is a tool that we use to measure the drought levels within the state of Texas throughout. We have several departments within the county that actually have units activated throughout the county, throughout the state, assisting with other wildfires throughout the state of Texas, which are taking great resources. Our county has been in a drought condition with high temperatures and minimal rain, with today being the only day for us to look at a possible chance of rain with that coming to Norvell River. So with that, our KPDI levels today sits at 634, which puts us in a severe drought condition. This has been an ongoing increase. So with that, the recommendation is that we go into a burn ban, coming as a burn ban, we're hitting outdoor burning, and that we ask that y'all vote on this to pass so we can.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Chief. Appreciate that. So, yes. Do I have a motion and second? We do. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Now let's take up 25B.
I'll move approval of 25A as presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second for 25B. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Let's go to agenda item 26A through H, presented by the Grant Administration. Grant Administration. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept 26A through H as presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Let's go to agenda item number 27A and B, presented by Homeland Security and Emergency Management.
I move that we approve 27A and B.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 28A and B, presented by Human Resources.
I move that we accept 28A and B.
Second.
I I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 29, presented by medical examiner.
Move approval of 29 as presented.
Second.
Motions has been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Now let's go to agenda item 31, Parks and Recreation. I have been informed of the correction to the effective date for these two items. So Olga, will you please notify us about the effective date?
The agenda items 3 and A, as presented in red, that should be the true effective date, which
Okay.
is October 1st, 2026, and that's for both items A and B.
Correct.
All right.
I move that we accept 31A and B with the correction of October 1st, 2026.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Let's go to agenda item 32A and B, presented by Public Transportation.
I move that we accept 32A and B as presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 33A through 8A, presented by Purchasing.
Move approval of 33A through 8A as presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 34, presented by Risk Management.
I move that we approve 34.
Second.
I do have a motion and second for item 34. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Let's go to agenda item 35A and B, presented by the Sheriff's Office.
Judge, and if I may interrupt before you do that motion, I was just informed just a few minutes ago that the Sheriff's Office wishes to withdraw 35A.
35A is withdrawn? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that means I need a motion for 35B only. Okay.
Move for approval 35B.
Second.
So I have a motion and second for item 35B. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 36, presented by the Tax Assessor Corrector.
Move approval of 36 as presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Now I present agenda item 37, 38, and 39, approval of the bills and other time-sensitive disbursement. Ed, please proceed.
Along with the time-sensitive bills totaling $24,871,510.90, submit for court approval bills totaling $7,828,207.16, which includes routine disbursements of $6,144,883.44.
I move that we approve 37, 38, and 39.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item 40 is a workshop presented by HGAC. Olga, please read the item.
40, conduct workshop to receive an update from HGAC regarding the performance of the RRR Small Business Loan Program.
Wonderful. Anybody from HGAC?
We do have a representative.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome, please come forward. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good afternoon, I am Christina Correa. bodies, council members, all within the Fort Bend County and various cities as well. And we also sent emails out to applicants from our first round back in 2022, I believe. And we got some really good traction thanks to our marketing team. We have our marketing manager and the project lead for this project in the back. You guys want to wait?
Thank you.
They did tremendous work building the brand kits individually, not only for each of you, but in addition for community partners and from us. We did a robust job at tracking where each lead came from. So from that, we had 67 applications with a request of right under $3 million in funding request. Go to the next slide. So on this slide, you can see some of the marketing that we sent out. So our partner toolkits, as you see, we have a request to have one flyer with all the members of Commissioners Court on there, and so we went back and did that, and we see that the county judge actually requested that one, and we had engagement with each of the offices and really tried to tag and show that it's not just HGAC, but it's a Fort Bend County effort and program as well. Okay, so who applied? We had an array of industries, and they had an array of needs. The largest being equipment, technology, and repairs, and the second largest being facilities, rent, and expansion. And the largest sector that we had were accommodations and food services. Eligibility. So we had, out of all the people who applied, 87.5% were pre-eligible to go on to underwriting, and the people who were weeded out were because their net worth exceeded the SBA's size standards, or their business or home was located outside of Fort Bend County. Business and home, I'm sorry. And as you see, Sugar Land had the most applications, and Fulshire had the least. And then the item to the right is the percentage of eligible versus candidates that were screened out. And all eligible applicants requested about 2.4 million combined, averaging about 43,000 per request. So campaign results. Our internal goal was to get 50 applications. We exceeded that goal by receiving 67. And like I said, the original request before we screened people out was $2.9 million. So there's definitely a need. Key takeaways. So we're at the midway point. We're supposed to come back to you all in November with some results. We are performing as designed for the midway point. Currently, applications are being reviewed and underwritten. We are taking them by groups. So they were randomized, and we took the first 10. We reached out to them for additional information, so like profit, loss statements, tax returns, everything that we need for a full loan application. And that's, we gave them a period of time to respond. So far, we have 2 who have turned in the information. So our next step is to go back to the randomized list and pull the next 10. And if the people from the first 10 give us their documents, then we will put them back in the queue to be underwritten. There is a need for business support in the county. It's critical, as I mentioned, from the initial funding request. There's a $2.4 million gap. And as far as the performance of the delinquent loans, we have talked to one of our boards. HGAC is a big organization with a lot of boards, as you all know. So we've talked to the LDC board about some collection efforts. We have to present that to our GCED board, and then we have to present it to the HGAC board. It sounds like a lot, but we're moving the process along. However, we do have a success story. We had a person who received a loan August of 2023, and as of October of 2023, they only made a total payment of $3,000. Their monthly payment was $887. So currently they are 19 months behind, 19 days behind. As of July 31, they have made $10,000 in addition to that initial $3,000. They made $5,000 in June and $5,000 in July. The August report is not out, obviously, but when we received those payments, we cleared up their late fees, which totaled $1,100, and they are planning to be paid off by the end of the year. So even without the teeth, we're still trying to recover some of those funds.
Do I understand correctly that one of the entities that were funded through this program is a drone agriculture deal that turns out to be an extraordinary success?
Yes, it is. So about a year ago, when we came to the Commissioner's Court, we showed the video with the success story. And they're right here in Fort Bend County. We did fund them, and Helios, the name of the company, is on our YouTube and on our social media pages.
Never hurts to repeat a very success story. So
Yes, sir.
good, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any question, comment? Really appreciate your presentation. Thank you for doing all this.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Wonderful. Let's moving forward. Next, I present agenda item 41A1 through 41A4. Before we proceed, I want to ask the county attorney, do you think we can handle this in the open session?
We definitely can. We can
Wonderful.
move really quickly.
Okay.
We have my assistant county attorneys present. We'll start with
Fantastic.
Marquis.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sirs. I'm handing motion for order authorizing expenses in this new
CCD-079755, Fort Bend County, Texas, versus Yago Hulu Yagi II et al., Wallace Street, project number 20305, precinct 20, parcel 20, precinct 1. Bridget Smith Lawson, county attorney of Fort Bend County, Texas, be authorized, to incur litigation expenses for any and all costs, pre-trial, trial, appeal, and incidental costs, including potential ad litem fees, citation by publication fees, and other expenses in amount not to exceed $20,000, and that mobility bonds be designated as a funding source. Sorry guys, my eyes are working up. I'm having difficulty reading this.
You did well. You did well.
Second.
All right. Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Next, I would like to recommend the next 3 cases go to Commissioner Morales.
Good afternoon, sirs. I have a motion presenting the order to Olga. A motion for Commissioner Morales. This is the settlement of a condemnation matter and in exchange for the acquisition of a road easement.
All
All right, I move that the 25 CCB 076614 Fort Bend County, Texas versus Jeffrey Fortenberry, what was that? Reese, Miranda Fortenberry et al., Bowser Road, project 2306, parcel 24, precinct 1, Bridget Smith Lawson, county attorney of Fort Bend County, Texas, be authorized to countersign on behalf of the county the conditional Rule 11 agreement negotiated and documented between legal counsel on August 17, 2026, and to resolve the suit and fund and close the acquisition of a permanent easement for the amount set forth in such condition, Rule 11 agreement, and that the mobility funds be designated as the funding source.
That's the item, that's the motion, that's the second. I have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Next.
Smart key, Ms.
Okay.
All right, good afternoon again, sirs.
Good afternoon.
I have a motion for order authorizing settlement of a condemnation suit in clause number 25-CCD-077744.
Commissioner Morales.
All right, I move that in 25 CCD 077744, Fort Bend County, Texas versus Gloria Idawu, Benedict E. Idawu, et al., Reading Road Intersections Project 20-109, parcel 12, precinct 2, Bridget Smith Lawson, county attorney, Fort Bend County, Texas, be authorized to countersign on behalf of the county the conditional Rule 11 agreement negotiated and documented between legal counsel on August 12, 2026, and to resolve the suit and fund and close the acquisition for the amount set forth in such conditional Rule 11 agreement, and that mobility funds be designated as the funding source.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Next, please.
Next, we have Bill Cole.
Wonderful.
Good afternoon again, sirs.
You give it to me.
You want to take it? Okay, let him take it.
Thank you. This is a motion to settle a condemnation matter. I'm presenting for Mr. Cooper.
Yes. I move that in 25-CCD -077152, Fort Bend County, Texas versus Linnell Zwar et al., Bostic Road Project number 20111, parcel 14, precinct 2, Bridget Smith Lawson, county attorney, Fort Bend County, Texas, be authorized to countersign on behalf of the county the conditional Rule 11 agreement negotiated and documented between legal counsel on August 25th, 2026, and resolve the suit and otherwise fund and close the acquisition for the amount set forth in such conditional Rule 11 agreement, and that mobility funds be designated as funding source.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Olga, will you read item number 5?
Agenda item number 5, under section 551071, reads as Grants, Programs, Directorate, Information, Bulletin number 580, fiscal year 2026, Election Security Guidance.
Yes, the information has already been provided to the court, no request for consultation was received, no further action is needed at this time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So is it 5B1 been pulled?
Agenda item 41B has been
41B,
pulled.
okay. It's been pulled. So there's no other items, correct?
No other items.
So no other items, so general session, actually we don't have a closed session today. I do need a motion to adjourn the general session. All right, and now let's go to our next meeting. Now it is 3:34, and I call to order this meeting of Fort Bend County Drainage District Board of Directors. Today is Thursday, August 27, 2026. Agenda item number 2, consider approval of the minutes as presented.
Second.
I do have motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item number 3.
Move approval with what is presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item number 4.
Move approval with what is presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
All right. Now let's go to another meeting. Now it is 3:35, and I call to order this joint meeting of the Fort Bend County Assistant District numbers 1, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11. Today is Thursday, August 27, 2026. Agenda item number 2, consider approval of the minutes as presented.
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Agenda item number 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Let's go to agenda item number 4.
Move for approval for item number 4.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Moving along, agenda item number 5.
Move approval of 5 is presented.
Second.
I do have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 3-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Let's go home, but we do have a pledge to sign, so Commissioner, please stay. Thank you so much for coming.